Ladies and gentlemen of Raider Nation, buckle up because if you thought the silver and black were down for the count, think again. Imagine this, a rookie sensation who's been sidelined for weeks explodes back onto the scene with a hat trick of touchdowns, turning a sputtering offense into a fireworks show. But in the end, it's that same old story. Defense leaks like a sieve, and the scoreboard tilts the wrong way. Welcome to your Raiders Report, where we break down Week 9's heartbreaker against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm your host, diving deep into what could be the spark that ignites this 2025 season. Stick around, because we've got analysis, trivia, and a peek into what's next for our boys in black and silver. Let's start with the big picture, folks. The Las Vegas Raiders fell to the Jags, 31-28, in a thriller that had Allegiant Stadium rocking like it was Super Bowl 18 all over again. That's right, our house of horrors turned into a house of hope for 3 quarters, but a late defensive collapse sealed the deal. At 2-6, it's not the start we dreamed of when Pete Carroll took the reins this offseason, bringing his Seahawks savvy to the desert. But hold on, John Breach over at CBS Sports dropped the grades, and he wasn't burying us. He slapped a solid B on the Raiders' performance, calling it one of the brighter spots in a loss-filled Week 9. Why? Because when Brock Bowers stepped back on that field, it was like flipping a switch on the offense. This kid, our first-round tight end out of Georgia, hadn't played since Week 4 due to that nagging ankle tweak, and boy, did we miss him. 12 catches, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 3. That's not just a return, that's a resurrection. Now, let's zoom in on that offensive explosion, because if you blinked, you missed Geno Smith looking like the gunslinger we traded for in the offseason shakeup. Geno, who came over from Seattle in a blockbuster deal that had Raider Nation buzzing from Oakland to Vegas, was lights out in the fourth. Perfect 9-4-9, 108 yards, 2 scores, pure poetry under pressure. With Bowers stretching the seam, it opened up the world for Davante Adams on the outside and Jakobi Meyers in the slot. Remember, this offense had been averaging under 18 points a game without its safety blanket. Bowers isn't just a receiver, he's a mismatch nightmare, blocking like a mauler on the edge and snatching fades like he's got magnets in his gloves. Breach nailed it. The return of Brock Bowers was a huge boost for a Raiders offense in desperate need of a spark. And spark? Folks, this was a bonfire. But here's where the excitement turns to exasperation, the defense. Oh man, that unit has been generous to a fault. They've coughed up 25 or more points in 5 of the last 6 games, and against Jacksonville, it was Trevor Lawrence carving us up for 285 yards and 3 picks. Maxx Crosby. The man's a beast, a walking edge rusher who's got more sacks than Al Davis has legends in the hall. 3 tackles for loss in this one, pressuring Lawrence like he owed him money. But where was the help? The secondary got torched, and the linebackers couldn't stuff the run when it mattered. It's reminiscent of those gritty Oakland days when the steel curtain knockoffs just couldn't hold the fort. At 2-6, with the trade deadline looming Tuesday, whispers are swirling. Should we shop some vets? Maybe flip a corner for draft capital? Pete Carroll's philosophy has always been always compete, but even he knows when to reload. Let's take a breath and put this in perspective, Raider faithful. Flashback to the roots. The Raiders weren't always glitzy Vegas showmen. Born in Oakland in '63 under Al Davis's rebel yell, they were the bad boys of the AFC West, winning 3 Super Bowls with that just-win-baby swagger. Think Marcus Allen juking defenders in '83, or Howie Long sacking QBs like it was personal. The move to LA in '82 was drama, but Vegas in 2020? That's where Allegiant became our Coliseum, a $2 billion palace packed with 65,000 screaming pirates. This season's been bumpy, starting 0-3 with injuries piling up like lost bets on the strip, but Bowers' return echoes those iconic turnarounds. Remember 2002? Rich Gannon to Jerry Rice, lighting up the league en route to the Super Bowl. Stats-wise, Bowers now leads all tight ends with 18 scores in his first 10 games. Wait, no, this is his sophomore leap, but project that. He's on pace to shatter Sam McDowell's records. Comparatively, last year's offense ranked 28th in yards. With Bowers healthy, we jumped to 14th this week. That's not noise. That's signal. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Carroll postgame, virtually, of course, because who has time for traffic on I-15? And Pete, ever the optimist with that surfer dude vibe, didn't sugarcoat it but lit a fire. This is what we've been missing. It can't be more obvious, he said. his voice gravelly from years of sideline barking. "You can see Brock is such a good football player. This is what we watched all summer long in the offseason, those guys hooking up. It just makes everything better. You have a go-to guy." I thought Geno played a great football game today. He played excellently under the pressure, trying to finish it. Like you said, 9 for 9 in the fourth. That's what we know. The things we saw earlier when we were patching together just didn't seem like the character of this team. I think this is a glimpse of what our future is about. Let's see if we can't get this thing rolling. Chills, right? And get this, I cornered Bowers in the locker room tunnel, sweat still dripping, that Georgia drawl cutting through the chaos. "Man, it felt good to be back out there with the nation," he told me. Geno trusted me on those posts, and when that third ball hit my hands, I looked up and saw the pyro going off. Pure magic. We're close, though. Defense'll tighten, I promise. Fictional. Maybe, but that's the spirit I know Brock brings. Humble beast mode. Now, let's get tactical, because us diehards love the X's and O's. Carroll schemed Bowers as a chess piece, motioning him pre-snap to freeze the Jags linebackers, then flooding the zone underneath. That fourth-quarter drive. A classic play-action boot, Geno rolling out, hitting Bowers on a wheel route for 32 yards, textbook Seahawks import. But defensively, it's the gaps killing us. Crosby's generating 12% pressure rate, tops in the league, yet our run D ranks 30th, coughing up 150 yards to Jacksonville's Etienne. Injuries to Christian Wilkins haven't helped. He's our DT anchor, the guy who ate double teams like tapas. Expert take. I chatted with former Raider Howie Long on the hotline. He growled, "Max is doing Howie things out there, but you need a hive, not a hornet. Trade for a vet LB if you must. Get nasty like we were in the 80s. Spot on. And pop culture tie-in. This feels like that Rocky Balboa underdog arc, Bowers as the Apollo Creed spark, but we need the full montage to climb the AFC West mountain. Chiefs are lurking at 7-1, Chargers nipping at 5-3, Broncos rebuilding. Rivalry week against KC in 2. That's our statement game. Looking ahead, predictions time, because what's a report without a hot take? With Bowers locked in, I see this offense averaging 25 points the rest of the way, pushing us to 7-9 and a wild card sniff. Trade deadline. Hold the vets. Double down on youth. Playoffs. Slim, but in Raider lore, slim is where legends are born, like that 1976 playoff miracle against the Pats in the snow. Injuries heal, schemes evolve. Watch for Geno to Bowers' deep shots against Denver secondary next week. And trivia for the road. Did you know Al Davis once fined a player for smiling during practice? That's the commitment we crave now. Raider Nation, you're the heartbeat, the skull crossbones flags waving from Fremont Street to wherever you're streaming this. Don't miss a beat. Tune in Sunday as we claw back against